Okay, so today we're going to talk about solving quadratics by factoring. So let's do some more practice on factoring. Remember, we're doing the x method. Okay, and when we're doing the x method, the number here in front of the x squared is 1. So it's always the first number 1 times the last number, which is 15. Again, 15. And then the bottom number is 8. Okay, again, you know it's factor is 15. So we start with 1, so 1 times 15 is 15. When I add them, that gives me 16. That's not good. Then try 2. 2 doesn't go into it, so then we try 3. 3 and 5. But when I add that, that gives me 8. That's good. So 3 here, 5 here. Remember, you make them fractions. Above each fraction is always the first number, which is 1, and the letter you're working with is 1x and 1x. Can I reduce this fraction? No, so that can reduce. So what we do is we write it as x plus 3. Same with this one. This would be x plus 5. Okay, let's try the next one. Again, we're going to do the same thing. First times last, 1 times negative 25, which is negative 25. In this case, there's no middle number, so we put 0 in the bottom. Okay. So when you do this factors of 25, it gives 0, so we 5 and negative 5. Again, put the 1x above, 1x above. Take it so it's the first number and the letter. It doesn't reduce, this would be x plus 5. This one doesn't reduce, so it would be x minus 5. Okay, same with this one. The first time and the last, so it's 4 times negative 18, negative 72, negative 21 in the bottom. Okay, so we need factors of negative 72. We're going to start with 1 and 72. We know the bigger number is going to be negative because this bottom number is negative. So because that's negative, we're going to make that negative. That adds to negative 71. That doesn't work. So let's try 2. 2 goes into it 36 times. So that gives me negative 34. Still not good. Then we try 3. Well, 3 goes into a negative 24 times. But when I do add that, it gives me negative 21. That's good. So we're going to do 3 and negative 24. Remember, above it is the first number, which is 4 and the letter. 4x, 4x. This one on the left-hand side, 4x over 3, doesn't reduce, so we're just going to write it as 4x plus 3. This one on the right, though, does reduce. We can divide them both by 4. And that gives me 1x over negative 6. So that becomes x minus 6. We're done. Okay, so this is what we've been learning. And now we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to solve quadratics by factoring. First thing we need to do is set the equation equals 0. So we're going to move everything from right to the left. Move everything from right to left. Okay, then we're going to factor. Again, that's the x method. That's what we've been doing. Then you're going to set each equation equal to 0 and then solve. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so let's do some examples. Okay, the first step, always move everything that's on the right-hand side of the equal sign to the left. So here is what's on the right. It's a negative 5. To move it, you do the opposite of what it says. So since it's negative, we're going to do plus 5. And remember, we have to line it up with exactly the right term. So number lines up with number. The number over here would be 19, so we're going to line it up with 19. So we get x squared minus 11x plus 24. Okay, so those cancel out. And we do our x. Remember, number in the front, which is 1, so it's 1 times 24, which is 24. Negative 11 in the bottom. Okay, factors of it are 8 and 3, but since the 11 is negative and the 24 is positive, both of these have to have the same sign, and since it's negative, they're both negative. Put our fraction, put the first number, which is 1, and the letter, which is x, on top of each one. So we get x plus 8, x minus 3. Okay, so then what we do here is we take each set of parentheses. So we're going to take this x plus 8. We're going to set it equal to 0. Okay, and then we have to solve for x. Since the 8 is being added to x, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. Those cancel out, so we get x equals negative 8. So that's our first answer. Then we take the other parenthesis, which is the exact same thing. So we take x minus 3 and set it equal to 0. And since it's negative 3, we're going to put a plus 3 underneath. And whenever I do to one side, I got to do the other. So it's plus 3. So we get x equals 3. Those are our two answers, so we are done. Alright, we're going to try to do the next one. This 5 is on the right-hand side. Anything on the right, we must move to the left first. So since it's positive, we're going to put negative 5. And we're also going to put it up to the 15, because remember, numbers go with numbers. So this cancel out. So we get n squared plus 7n plus 10. Okay, it's x method. So it's always first number, which is 1, times last number, which is 10. Gives me 10, 7 comes down. Okay, we need two numbers, so it's 2 and 5. They multiply to get 10, but add to get 7. Remember, put a fraction. Put 1, the first number, which is 1, and the letter, which is n, above each one. So this would be n plus 2. This would be n plus 5. Then, again, take each one of these, set it equal to 0. And since it's plus 2, we're going to put minus 2 on both sides. So we get n equals negative 2. And then do the same thing with the other one. N plus 5 equals 0. So we're going to subtract 5. So we get n equals negative 5. Keep going. Okay. Do everything on the right-hand side first. So that's a negative 2. So we get plus 2, and that's going to go into the 22 because numbers go with numbers. So we get n squared minus 10n plus 24. Put a 1 in front. So put your x. So it's 1 times 24, which is 24. Negative 10 in the bottom. Okay, so that's going to be negative 6 and negative 4. Put your fractions. So it's first number, which is 1, and the letter, which is n. 1n. So this is going to be n minus 6 and n minus 4. Then we take each parenthesis. Just set equal to 0. Since it's negative 6, we're going to add 6 to both sides. So we get n equals 6. Then we got to do the same thing with the other parenthesis. So it's n minus 4 equals 0. Since it's negative, we're going to put plus 4 and plus 4. So we get n equals 4. And there we go. Alright, same thing. We're going to move to 6. If it's positive, we're going to put negative. And it's going to be under the 12. Number goes with number. So it's n squared plus 3n minus 18. Put that 1 there. It's 1 times 8, negative 18, which is negative 18. Positive 3. So we're going to have 6 and negative 3. Put your first number, which is 1, and n over top of each fraction. So this would be n plus 6 and n minus 3. We're going to take each parenthesis. Set equal to 0. Since it's positive 6, we're going to subtract 6. So we get n equals negative 6. And then again, same here. You have n minus 3 equals 0. Since it's negative 3, we're going to add 3. So we get n equals 3. Okay, keep going with some of our examples here. Okay, first thing, move the right-hand side to the left. It's positive 6. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides. So I got 6n squared minus 18n minus 24. And remember when we did factoring, we have to, if there's a number that goes into all three, we have to divide by that number first. So we're going to divide by everything by 6, because 6 goes into all three. And I get n squared minus 3n minus 4. Makes your numbers a lot easier to work with. Okay? So again, it's 1 times negative 4, which is negative 4. Negative 3 on top. So that gives you negative 4 and 1. It's 1n, 1n. So this would be n minus 4 and n plus 1. Remember also, the number that you divided by, this 6 here, needs to come down and go in the front of your fraction. Okay? But that doesn't really change the rules. The only time it changes the rules is if there's a letter there, but there isn't. So we're still going to take each one of these parentheses and equal to 0. Since it's minus 4, we're going to add 4 to both sides. We get n equals 4. And then here we're going to do n plus 1 equals 0. We're going to subtract 1, so we get n equals negative 1. Okay, this next one. Again, on the right hand side is negative 7, so we're going to do plus 7 plus 7. And what we're going to have here is 7r squared minus 14r plus 7. Now the reason the 7 gets added at the very end is because it has nothing alike in the top. We have no letter with it, so it just needs to be put on the end. I gotta look to see if there's a number that goes in all three. There is, it's 7, so we're going to divide everything by 7. So we have r squared minus 2r plus 1 dx. So it's 1 times 1, first times last, which is 1. Middle number goes in bottom. So we'll have negative 1 and negative 1. 1r on top, 1r on top. So we'll have r minus 1 times r minus 1. But since there's two of them, of the exact same thing, you can write it once with a squared. Okay? And remember that the 7 we divided by at the very beginning needs to be written at the top and then be brought down. Okay, again, since there's no letter attached to that, we just take the one parenthesis here, r minus 1, set it equal to 0. We're going to add 1, so r equals 1. Alright, I got 6 more examples on the next page to go over. They get a little bit harder. Okay? So, this one doesn't really get much harder. We're still going to do the same thing. We're going to add 15. And because there's nothing alike over here, it's just be n squared plus 8n plus 15. Okay? Remember, it's first times last, so 1 times 15 is 15. 8 goes in the bottom. So it'll be 3 and 5. First number is 1 and 1 and. So this would be n plus 3 and n plus 5. Okay, then we're going to take each parenthesis here, like we've been doing, set it equal to 0. Since it's plus 30, we do minus 3, so we get n equals negative 3. Then you guys do the other parenthesis. N plus 5 equals 0. Since we're going to subtract 5, so we get n equals negative 5. Alright, next one. Same thing. Okay, but we got to do it kind of in stages. So we're going to take this 30, we're going to add that first. So that's going to be plus 30. It's going to be added to the 120 because that's the like term. So it's 5r squared minus 44r plus 150. Those cancel out, and it's equal to 11r. We still have something on the right-hand side, though. We still have this 11r. So we need to, since it's positive, subtract it, and it's going to combine with the 44r because that's its like term. So we're going to line those up. So we're going to have 5r squared minus 55r plus 150. They're all divisible by 5, so remember when they're all divisible by a number, we need to do that. So we're going to divide them all by 5, 5, and we get 1r squared minus 11r plus 30. Okay? We're going to do our x method. We'll do it over here. So it's 1 times 30, which is 30. And negative 11 down here. So it's going to be negative 6 and negative 5. Put 1 r above. So we're going to get r minus 6 and r minus 5. But remember, the 5 we originally divided by has to come right here in the front. So that's going to go right there. Okay, then remember we take each parenthesis here. So we're going to start with r minus 6. Set equal to 0. Since it's negative, we're going to add 6. Add 6. So we get r equals 6. And same here. Take this r minus 5. Set equal to 0. Since it's minus 5, we're going to add 5. Add 5. We get r is equal to 5. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, start with the negative 3. Add 3. And it's going to get added here. So those cancel out on both ends. So we're going to leave off with negative 4k squared minus 8k equals negative 5k squared. Then we still have that k squared on the right side, so we're going to take care of that. Negative, so we're going to add it. So we get 1k squared minus 8k. Okay, so we're going to do x method. But the problem is we're missing the c, so it's plus 0 here. So it's 1 times 0, which is 0, and negative 8 in the bottom. So it's going to be negative 8 and 0. And again, first number is 1, so it's 1k, 1k. So we have k minus 8 and k plus 0, which is fine. So we're just k. Okay, we're going to take each parenthesis. K minus 8 equals 0. Since it's negative, we're going to add 8. So we get k is equal to 8. And then, take the other one, which is k plus 0 equals 0. When we subtract 0, it's just going to be k is equal to 0. Alright, we're almost done. Okay, so here we're going to take 3b. Since it's 5b, we're going to subtract it. And since it's b, we're going to combine it with the 5b here. So we get b squared plus 2b minus 35. That one in front. Do the x method, so it's 1 times negative 35, which is negative 35. Okay, put 2 in the bottom, so it's going to be 7 and negative 5. Put that 1b on top, that 1b on top. So we're going to have b plus 7 times b minus 5. Okay, take each parenthesis, so it's going to be b plus 7 equals 0. Since it's positive 7, we're going to subtract. So we get b equals negative 7. Then we're going to take the other one, which is b minus 5 equals 0. Since it's negative, we're going to add 5 and add 5. So b equals 5. Alright, we're almost there. 2 more. Okay, with this one, take the 5 and we're going to subtract it. Since it's positive, it's going to go to the 7 because that's what it's like. So it's 3r squared minus 16r minus 12. Okay, nothing goes into all 3 of those numbers, so we have to do the old-fashioned x method. First number, which is 3, times the last number, which is negative 12. That's negative 36. And then we're going to do negative 16 in the bottom. So we need 2 numbers that multiply negative 36, but adding negative 16. Okay, it's going to be negative 18 and 2. Okay, guys, if you don't know those, list them all out, add them, see what you get. Okay, but here, our a is now 3, so it's going to be 3r and 3r. And then we got to reduce if we can. So here we do have a number that goes into 3 and 18. It is 3, so we're going to divide both the top and bottom by 3. So we get r over negative 6. So that's going to be r minus 6. This one doesn't reduce at all, so we're going to leave it as 3r plus 2. Okay, then we take each parentheses. So we're going to start with our r minus 6. Is that equal to 0? So this is negative 6. We're going to add 6. Add 6. So we know r will equal 6. The second one, though, now has a number in front of r. So we're going to take that, 3r plus 2, and set it equal to 0. Okay, remember when we're solving equations back in September, you always subtract first. So subtract 2, so we get 3r equals negative 2. And then, because that number is attached to r, we're going to divide both sides by 3. And remember back in September, I said leave all answers as a fraction. So leave it as a fraction. Okay, last one. To start with this one, we're going to take this negative 3 and add it to both sides. Add 3, add 3. So I get 6b squared minus 13b plus 6. There's no number that goes in all those, so we're going to do x method. So it's 6 times 6, which is 36, and negative 13. Okay, we need two numbers, so it would be negative 15 and 2. Negative 15 and 2. Okay, remember it's the first number, which is 6, and the letter, which is b, so it's 6b and 6b. On the left-hand side, there's a number that goes into both. It's 3, so we're going to divide the top and bottom by 3. So it gives me 2b over negative 5, which if I wrote that, would be 2b minus 5. On the right-hand side, it would be 2. 3b over 1, so that would be 3b plus 1. 3b plus 1. Okay, then we take each set of parentheses that we have here. Okay, so that's equal to 0. So we're going to add 5, So I get 2b equals 5. 5 goes divided by 2. So b is equal to 5 over 2. Remember, leave things as fractions. Then take our second parenthesis, which is 3b plus 1. So equal to 0. And subtract the 1 first. Divide by 3. And leave it as a fraction. Alright, that will be the end of our lesson today.